What's up, you guys? It's Brandi. Thank you for tuning in to my channel. Today I'm coming on for a continuation of the foundation series, and I have a producer here today as well that I'm going to continuously be looking at. It's my fiance behind the camera, you guys. So I'm going to try to... Okay.
Alright, go.
I'm going to try to get this together. So, today we're going to be reviewing the new Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation. It's taken me a minute to get my hands on this because I have not been able to find it in any of my drugstores. So I actually ended up having to purchase it online. And I have it in 2 different shades just to see what the color match is. So before we get into this video, of course, I want to encourage you guys to go ahead and click that subscribe button and join this awesome family, because we have tons of beauty related items on this channel, from makeup to hair to lifestyle. So definitely click that subscribe button and join the family so you can have a hand in crafting how this channel looks and what comes out to you. Before we get into the claims, I just want to tell you guys, on the Wet n Wild website, this does retail for $5.99, which in my opinion, that's really affordable for a foundation. So the description on here says that this is your skin, only better. Our new high-performing skin perfecting foundation underwent major road testing under 7 different photo lighting conditions to deliver flawless, camera-ready makeup every time. Specially made with a matte, light diffusing complex to give your skin #no filter perfection. So it also states that it's supposed to be great for if you're doing flash or without flash as well, so you won't get that really white cast flashback that a lot of us try to avoid. There are 20 different shades in this foundation, but the only bad part about it is that in terms of the darker skin or my melanated girls, we only have about 4 or 5 shades that are going to match us. So that's a little bit disappointing. Hopefully they will add shades later on, but let's go ahead and get into the actual demo part, because I'm sure that's what you guys really want to see. As usual with these foundation reviews, I'm going to be using 2 different beauty tools. I'm going to use my beauty blender on one side and my Morphe M439 brush on the other side, just to see how the coverage is with either of these beauty tools. This is what the packaging of the foundation looks like. It's just a nice glass bottle with a black top on it, and you do get 1 fluid ounce in here. So the cool thing about this also, which I've never seen with a foundation, is it's kind of like a spatula that's included on here for you to dip the foundation out, and you can actually use it to apply it onto your skin. So I've already done a little bit of a shade match on the side of my face right here, so I'm going to go with the shade Cocoa, but I also picked up the shade Toffee Pecan, which is probably a little bit too light for me right now, but I can definitely add it to other foundations that might be a little bit too dark. So we're just going to go ahead and apply it on to the skin and start out with a little. You always want to start with a little first. You can always build it up later. And it didn't talk about whether this was full coverage or not. Now on this side, this is where I have most of my acne scarring, so I always like to use the Morphe brush on this side because it tends to give me a little bit more coverage. So we're just going to go in and blend it out. It actually looks like it's more of a pinky undertone to it, which I'm not a fan of. You guys know I like more golden undertones for my foundations, but I'm sure we can make it work because the shade itself isn't super light. This is what it looks like with just 1 coat. You can still see a little bit of my acne scarring and of course my hyperpigmentation peeking through, so I am going to go in with 1 more layer just to see if we can build it up some. I'm just going to dab it as opposed to swiping it all over the skin. Okay. I can see you. So this is with 2 layers of the foundation here, and it doesn't look bad to me. It definitely still covered up those acne scarrings. I can see a little bit peeking through, so that still makes it look where it's a little bit natural and it doesn't look cakey at all. And it also said it was supposed to be kind of like a matte finish, but I would consider this more of like a velvety matte finish where it's not super drying to the skin. Because I told you, well, I actually didn't tell you guys that today, instead of using my regular primer that I use with these foundation reviews, I ended up using a little bit of this argan oil just because I've been having dry skin and I didn't know how this was going to perform on my skin. So it's not bad coverage. I'm actually liking it a lot. I'm going to apply a little bit more on this side since we know that a light layer will only give you kind of like that super light coverage. And then we're going to go in with the Beauty Blender on this side. I'm actually liking it blending out with the Beauty Blender a lot more. It looks more natural and you have more like luminosity right there on the high parts of your cheek. So I actually like this. And I don't feel like it sheared it out how it normally does with the Beauty Blender, and it may be just because I applied a little bit more of the foundation than I did initially on the other side. So this is what the Beauty Blender side looks like. And in my monitor, it looks a lot more natural and less matte also than this side. So this is what my skin's looking like. I am going to do a flash test before I do the rest of my makeup because I always forget to do that. And I never know if the foundation has the flashback or if the other products that I put on top of my face have the flashback. So I'm going to do that and finish the rest of my face, and I will be right back. I completely forgot to include this in the beginning of the video. My mind is like all over the place today. I actually picked up a few more products from Wet n Wild that I'm going to be using in this. I'm probably going to do it a little bit more sped up so this video isn't super long. But I also picked up one of their, what are these? This is the Photofocus concealer, and I have mine in the shade Medium Tawny just because I want a little bit more brightness underneath my eyes. I also picked up their contour stick. Also have the Photofocus pressed powder as well, and I got this in the shade Golden Tan just to set my under eye because I know this is going to be way too light for my skin all over. And then lastly, I got the Mega Glow highlighting powder.
So alive, I've never felt this way before. It must be you and I. It's got me thinking about us more. It's these bright lights that put me in a daze, and I can't stop but think about the way that you move around up and down on that stage. It's your future vibes. Bright lights, they put me in a daze, and I can't stop but think about the way that you move around up and down on that stage.
Okay, you guys, I'm back. I've now finished the rest of my face, and I'm in a bit of a hurry because I have a nail appointment, and these claws gotta be tended too. So really quickly, I want to just talk about the other products that I used in the sped up part of this video. I ended up using the concealer, which I feel is a perfect shade for my skin tone. It was perfect for brightening and also for canceling out my dark circles. Now this is more of a natural type of concealer, I would say, because it didn't fully, in my opinion, like give me super full coverage under there because I can still see just a little bit of darkness peeking through. But this is a great lightweight concealer. And also, I feel like if you wanted it to be a little bit more of a full coverage concealer, if you apply it and blend it out with a brush instead of a beauty blender, then you definitely get a little bit more coverage. In terms of the contour stick, I do really like this one as well because it gave me a really nice natural sort of contour where it's not overdone. And I also thought this was going to be more of a bronzy shade because it's not a cool tone and it would look a little bit, I don't know, a little bit weird, but it actually ended up applying well. It just kind of like enhanced it a little bit where it looks a lot natural to me. And I do like it. It's nice and creamy as well. And I do like that it's in this type of form because it's easy for travel, and it's also easy for you to like pinpoint those specific areas that you want to be, you know, contoured, and apply it right there, and that's it. On to the pressed powder. I feel like this is a really great product as well for setting my under eye. It did give me a little bit more coverage by doing that, and it went on really nicely and set it well where I don't see any creasing. And then lastly, which I think is like my favorite product out of all of these that I've used today, and that's the highlighter. I was thinking at first when looking at this, it looks a little like it has a pinky undertone to it, but when you apply it to the skin, it looks so beautiful, and your skin just looks nice and sun-kissed, and it's just like that nice natural wet look to it, but not overdone. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to wear all of this makeup for the rest of the day, and I will check back in with you guys later on tonight to let you know how everything has held up. So I'll see you guys later tonight. What's up, you guys? I'm coming on. It's now 11:04 p.m. I've had this foundation on for at least 11 hours, and I cannot believe the way that it looks on my skin. Oh my gosh, for a $5.99 foundation, this is amazing to me. Like, it has not worn off anywhere on my skin at all. It still looks really nice. My skin was super hydrated all day long. I didn't even have forehead lines. I don't have any of the foundation settling into my smile lines at all. So I just have to say I'm blown away by this. And then I also looked back at the footage earlier today, or that I filmed earlier today. I think I said that it was more of a, I was seeing a little bit of a pink undertone to this foundation, and that's completely false. And I looked at it and I was blending it. It looked a little bit pinkish on camera, but when I went back to look at the footage, like this shade, the cocoa shade of this, matches my skin perfectly. Now this is supposed to be a matte foundation, but I still found that it left my skin hydrated even though it was still kind of like a demi matte finish to it throughout the day. I did not set my face except for in the areas where I had a contour, and then also under eye and like the center of my face where I highlighted. So in terms of the foundation itself, I will give it 2 thumbs up, and I will definitely be using this a lot more. I would say it's worth trying out just because it's $5.99. Like, this doesn't happen usually in drugstores where we get a nice foundation that's super, super cheap. So I feel like if I could find this on the ground, I would actually go and buy another of these like tomorrow just to make sure that I have it in my stash. Now, in terms of the other products that I use on my face as well, let's run through those really quickly. Now, they do have the Photo Finish Concealer, which is basically supposed to do the exact same thing or give you the same benefits as the foundation, which is not to give you flashback and to allow it to last, you know, pretty much all day long. I did use this. The one thing that I love about this the most is the fact that this shade was great. The undertones of it, the coverage of it, all of that, especially if you want a natural look. It was also buildable for me as well, so I really did like that. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is that it did wear off. Not sure how long it was before it wore off. There's a little bit of darkness peeking through, and if you look really close up, you can kind of see a little bit of patching as well. So in terms of the concealer, I don't really love it that much. If I'm wearing it for like maybe 4 hours out of the day or something like that, it's a really short day, then I would reach for it. But in terms of all day wear, I would definitely say this is not the best for that. So in terms of the pressed powder, which is also part of the Photofocus collection, I would have to say I am not in love with this. It definitely didn't wow me that much. Now, I used this to set all of the places where I used the concealer, and it didn't do that much more in terms of keeping it fully covered throughout the day because, as I said, up under here, under my eyes, it has worn off a good bit. But in terms of my forehead, nose, and other places that I concealed as well that doesn't have much creasing, this did hold up well, and it also made it where it didn't look shiny throughout the day. Lastly, I also tried the Mega Glow Highlighting Powder. Now, I would have to say this is still my most favorite product out of all of these that I tried, and then the foundation would have to be second best. This here is just amazing. I can still see my highlight popping on my cheeks. So I really, really like this. The consistency of it, it's not cakey when you put it onto your skin. It just goes on and looks super natural, like you're sun-kissed. And you can also get a more like glam look, I feel like, with this if you wet like your fan brush or whatever it is with a little bit of Fix Plus spray and then put it within this and put it on, you will have a beaming highlight. Last product that I tried was the contour stick, and this is also a really great product as well. I really did like this a lot. I can still see that it is on my face, all of the areas where I use this as a contour. It went on like butter, and it blended out very easily. Well, that's pretty much it. I enjoyed reviewing all of these products and was super blown away by the performance of them. Let me know you guys' thoughts on them, how you feel they looked on my face, if you tried them out, how you like them. And also make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you are not subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button and join this family so you will not miss out on any more of my videos. I will see you all in my next foundation series review video. Bye.